So there's not a whole lot of like Tarkov related.
Whoa, relax, bro. Jesus,
Dude,
all you do.
I'm just trying. Yeah,
We just started and you're already f***ing molding.
There's not that much news this week. What do you want? Stop complaining.
Oh my, you're just so negative
Dude,
all the
you
time.
like scared me. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the progress things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, Dardu.
And I am a sellout.
Sandstorm. Come on. Oh, a sellout.
Yeah.
Oh, because you like Cyberpunk?
No.
Oh.
No, dude. I'm clearly milking, impression farming the hate wave for cloud chasing. All of the
Oh
keywords
my
have been
God.
used to
Yeah.
describe. Because naturally, when people want to like low effort cloud chase drama farm, they make a 2-hour fucking documentary.
Of course. That's what everybody that wants to quickly and easily cash in on some clout. 2-hour documentary is the first thing they go to. Yep.
Yeah. So I just had to tell everybody I'm sorry.
Yeah. At least you're finally admitting it, you freaking Tarkov simp. Imagine. Dude, oh, that reminds me. I was playing with Valiant today, and he was like, I have to tell you about this. He posted a TikTok, and it was just like me and him playing. It was a thing. And then somebody commented on the TikTok and was like, is that JesseKazam? Wouldn't know because he's not constantly complaining about the game or whatever. Like, he wasn't complaining about the game right now. And Valiant was like, wait, what do you mean? And then the guy was like, all he does is complain about Tarkov. And then Valiant was like, have you ever been to his stream? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I mean, they do the podcast and they just complain about Tarkov all the time. And so he was like, oh, so he doesn't complain about it all the time. You just watch a podcast about basically hating Tarkov. It was just phenomenal.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, I'm actually really impressed at how people are able to watch 14 seconds of a video and then judge me and my entire life, or you and your entire like everything they know they need to know about you, they know from watching an episode and a half of a podcast, and then they can just say this is who they are as a human.
Or the other thing that gets me almost more than that is like, say what you mean. You know what I mean? Like, if you think all I do is complain, like, stick to those guns. You know what I mean? Because it's just I respect that more. What did we do? I remember editing the clips of a podcast where you said that, where you were like, you were like malding about some dude not sticking to his guns. I don't remember, but it's just like I respect you more.
I know what you're talking
you were.
about.
I can't remember what happened. It wasn't Nikita. It was like somebody. I don't remember, but like, the most embarrassing thing for you is just like the goalpost moving. You know what I mean? So that was what I find funny, is like, all he does is complain. And he's like, when? It was like, well, on the podcast. And I was like, oh, so a podcast he does for 2 hours a week, and half of that maybe-ish he's talking about Tarkov and he complains. But all he does is complain.
40% of the conversation that takes up 40% of a 2-hour podcast that they do once a week.
Yeah.
Might be constructive criticism plus normal gamer malding.
Yeah.
But everything, your entire content creation career.
Yeah, exactly. You could even make the argument that recently I have been complaining quite a bit, but just like, when people, as soon as they're pressed a little bit, it's like, what do you mean by that? And they're like, well, I didn't mean this. It's like, say what you mean, man. Stick to your guns. Like, come on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny. I almost responded, but I ended up not, because determined that it was, like, just not. It wasn't worth having the conversation. But it was something along the lines of like, my entire career is all about Starfield being a bad game, and even though I have 550 whatever videos, right, and the 4 that I've made on Starfield,
are your whole career.
It's only because
it was all leading to this.
I'm desperately trying to be relevant, because the last video, the second video that I did after my Starfield is bad video, it completely bombed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and I Googled what a crowd of 20,000 people looks like, and then realized that's how many people watched my video, and was such a bomb.
Yep.
Man, such a fucking bomb. Can you imagine?
Yep. Can you even imagine? Unbelievable.
Dude, can you fucking imagine? Like, okay. How embarrassing is it
that only this many
people watched my video? Fucking embarrassing, dude.
Yep. Well,
that's gonna be my new thing. I'm just gonna start Googling, like, to make myself feel better whenever numbers are involved. It's like, oh yeah, this didn't get 80,000 views. It only got 30,000. Oh, okay. It only got like 2 Gillette stadiums worth.
Yeah,
of,
dude. It's the perspective is crazy. If you want to hear us maul even more about content creation, this most recent episode was actually a banger. Just a friendly reminder. Check out the PP, the podcast Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastpod. We have an exclusive extra episode every single week. This week we got into a lot of stuff. We got into what it's like having kids, what it's like having to take the lessons I teach my 5-year-old son and teach Twitch chatters, those very same lessons verbatim. It was a great episode. So that'll be linked down below. All the support over there has been crazy recently. So thank you guys so much,
brother.
So there's not a whole lot of like Tarkov related.
Whoa, relax, bro. Jesus, dude, all you do.
I'm just trying. Yeah,
you just started and you're already fucking molding.
There's not that much news this week. What do you want? Stop complaining.
Oh my, you're just so negative, dude, all the time. You
like scared me.
Well, that's what you get for being so fucking negative all the time, bro.
What the hell, dude? There's not a whole lot of Tarkov news going on, other than they did the what I don't remember what it's called, the Tokyo Game Show.
Most extreme elimination challenge.
Yeah.
Yo, Nikita was on MXC.
Dude, you made that joke last week, and it's just as funny this week.
Did I? Yes. I've invoked the fucking Danny Blankenship's TV show twice in the last 20 years.
Yes. Okay, so that happened. It was obviously arena focused. Where the hell did Discord go? I'm gonna send you this screenshot. It was arena focused, but like the Gamescom was where we got like a lot of the information. But what happened as a result was like IGN got a hold of like 9 minutes of uncut. They just posted a video, 9 minutes of uncut.
Pure uncut,
gone sexual,
Colombian footage.
Yes, some of that pure uncut Colombian footage. Absolutely. And the only really interesting thing, actually, you should watch it because it's hilarious. Like this is like IGN. This is like, we're going to give footage to IGN. What do we want? 30 seconds in, somebody's like team killing each other. Like dudes getting hit in the leg and like limping. Like,
bro, what? Like, IGN used to be a respected fucking outlet, dude.
Film some of Glorious's footage and send that to IGN. It was just funny the footage that they chose to send over there. I don't know. Anyways, all that to say, the only interesting tidbit, there wasn't a Q&A, there wasn't like a big thing from Nikita or something. The interesting thing was, and I sent you this screenshot, and it's like, I can't get rid of the annotations, so we can't see everything, because this is literally like the last few frames of the video. But this was interesting because what we got to see is a little bit of what we've been wondering about, which is things like how much money can you make from a round? How much XP are you getting from a round, right? So as you can see there, he made this. So this is a 9-minute clip, and I think that's basically about how long this round of arena was. Like there were like 5 rounds in this video. This arena match was like 9 minutes long, so approximately a little bit shorter than the length of a raid. But like, I'm in and out in raids in less than 10 minutes a lot if you kill a few people or die, right? Oh yes, little Veritas.
So tiny.
And he made 185,000 rubles and lost 50,000 of it. I actually think that was because of the team kill. I actually think he lost money because he team killed.
Oh, you fucking idiot!
Which means I'm going to be broke in arena. A few other things, and he ended up with 92,000 rubles. And then over on the right, he made 1,000 XP. 550 for combat and 500 because they won. So, basically, and then you can see the rank. I think they were playing ranked. The GLP is the currency or whatever for ranked. Anyways, all that to say, that's it. That's really it. That's all the interesting stuff. But it put aside some of my fears about like power leveling in arena, right? Like 1,000 XP is not much for winning a 10-minute round. You know what I mean? Of arena.
Yeah, but he also probably got 0 kills.
Oh no, he got kills.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the I don't know, like I can go back and see how much he got. I don't know if this is John we're playing at. 7 kills, 3 deaths. Yeah. So interesting stuff, because here's the thing, right? Is that this is Voodoo. He had 7 kills, 4 deaths. The thing is that it doesn't matter. Like, this is what I was worried about personally, was like being able to just play a few rounds in arena and then like power level, you know, either your skills or money. You know what I mean? If it's like really easy to just like grind tons of money and then transfer that to Tarkov and then have whatever you want. But in arena, level doesn't matter as much. I guess the higher level you are, the more like gear presets you have to unlock. Level and money matter less in arena, I feel like, because the whole point of arena is that you'll always have a free kit. Like you'd always recycle it. If you want to grind, you can. So this set aside some of my fears that the ratio isn't going to be like, if this is an accurate representation, your 10 minutes are much better spent in a Tarkov raid if you're trying to XP farm.
If you do a customs raid and you get like 2 PMC kills and like 2 scav kills.
Yeah.
Aren't you getting like 5,000 XP or something?
Yeah.
And that takes like 45 minutes. So like,
I mean, it depends.
I'd be willing to bet you that I would level up significantly faster playing arena than I would playing Tarkov normally.
Maybe initially, like maybe off the rip when levels are not worth, you know, or when levels are a very small amount of XP. I don't think people are spending 45 minutes in raids. The thing is, and I think this is the point you're making, is that you can get
20 in queue.
Yeah, in queue and in your stash. But yeah, it's I think it's 160. Actually, I looked this up the other day, unrelated, but I think it's like 165,000 XP to get to level 15. And like, assuming you're completing quests, you know what I mean? Like those are boosts to XP. Basically at every level, you know what I mean? If you're level 30, you have so many quests that you can be completing in raid that really mean you're making more XP per. And if you're at the higher end, if I'm level 45 in Tarkov or 46 in Tarkov, my dailies give me between 35 and 50,000 XP to complete those dailies. So on top of the XP I'm getting in those raids, if XP was my goal, my time would be better spent in Tarkov.
I feel like if you're like level 40 or above, then playing normal raids was probably more.
Yeah.
But like, and of course, like I don't know.
Yeah.
But my gut is telling me that if you take into consideration how much time you spend in your stash, how much time you spend in queue, and how much time you spend in raids, not getting the XP that you fucking deserve from all the PMC kills, and how many times you're unable to do quests, and then
for sure.
So,
but I guess
I wonder what the average XP per hour is, because if it comes down to like, I'm just gonna go with the assumption that, let's say, like, I'm better than the IGN guy and I can get 2,000 XP.
Yeah.
For every 8 minutes or 9 minutes of gameplay. That could very well be better than if I, in the course of like 2 or 3 hours, than if I did 3 raids and I survived one of them.
True. But I guess what I'm saying is that, like, even if that's true, a little bit of my fears are put aside, because I was worried it was going to be like more of a proper Tarkov XP ratio, but per arena match, and that was going to really skew things. Like, I was worried
getting like 50,000 XP.
I was worried that 7 kills in an arena match was going to mean 4,800 XP per 9 minutes, and that it was going to be skewed. Because even if you're right, even if like an average person just grinding arena, getting a few kills and a few deaths, versus the average person's like XP per hour in Tarkov, like you said, queuing, waiting for a friend, they run a scav raid, they're not doing
Spitting
XP.
in bushes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Even if it's skewed that way, it seems like it'll level off. So I'm okay if people, use the like if it's slightly skewed more towards arena, if you're decent at combat, but you don't want to do the quests, you're better spent playing arena for the first 35 or 40 levels, and then it skews the other way. I'm okay with that, because I don't feel like that's too... My worry was just it was going to be very unbalanced. You know what I mean? It was just going to be really bad. It was going to be so much easier to get XP. And like you said, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, not the IGN guy. You know what I mean? Can you min-max experience in arena? Can you get a lot more than that? And then the other thing was
do we know if they're gonna have like achievements or quests, like daily whatever fucking battle pass and like arena, that could potentially be like...
We know there are going to be arena related quests in Tarkov. I don't even know what that could possibly mean. But we don't know about the other way around. I don't know if there's going to be like daily achievements, to, kill 10 PMCs with this gun, a la Call of Duty or whatever. But yeah, I still think, like, I'm still concerned and worried, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's interesting now that you say that when we talk about money, he ended up with 90,000 rubles for that 9 minutes. The question is, how long does it take to get into another arena round? If it's 5 minutes, or is it 1 minute? You know what I mean? Because if you can make 100,000 rubles per 9 minute or more per 9 minute run, and only with 1 minute of downtime, not dying and losing all this stuff, not, like, that could be a money farm as well. So it'll be interesting.
And I would almost definitely make a lot more money in arena than I need to try, because I don't fucking care about...
See, that's the thing.
Because I don't craft. And I don't like min-max looting.
Yeah.
I'm like breaking even.
And that's the thing. And that'll almost be okay. If this is like, a lot of people have said for a while they want PvP to be profitable in Tarkov again. This might almost be the way where, like, if you're a PvP focused guy and you don't really care to like loot the map, spending your time in arena and grinding up some money and then hopping back to Tarkov to spend your money on kits might be worth it. I feel like I could make more than that in like running streets frequently. Like, I have all my keys and I run streets and I can grind through it. And I feel like I can make more money than that doing that, especially, there's RNG, and there's going to be much more RNG in Tarkov. Like, I could find a Czech 15 key and a jacket, and that's 4 million rubles right there. Or I could not, but as long as there's, I was just worried that it was going to be like this, like arena's the better way to do everything. And then, but if it's like this, if sometimes it's more efficient to do it in arena, but we're around here, I'm okay. I was just worried that it was going to be insane. So seeing those numbers, I don't know, put some of my fears aside, but not all of them. And the thing is that we still don't know, like, how long does it take to get into the next arena match? That's a huge question. That is a huge question that's going to determine the experience.
Because if it's 1 minute, if the games are like 8 or 9 minutes and the queue time is 1 minute versus 6 minutes, you're literally talking about doubling.
Yeah.
Right. It's like 16 minutes or 8 or 9 minutes. Right. It's almost doubling the fucking denominator.
Yes,
right.
Yes. So that's going to be a huge determining factor. We also don't know if things like XP and money are boosted or detracted by playing ranked versus playing normal. Like, you know what I mean?
And we also don't know, like, whatever it's going to get released with. Whatever we see in the screenshots is going to be different than what they release, which is going to be different than what it is a month after, then 3 months, then 6 months, then so it's like ammo values, right? Like if they introduce a new ammo and it was like, it almost doesn't fucking matter what the stats are at first.
For sure. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So I was glad we got the screenshot, but yeah, I'm definitely not like anchoring my like, see, well, this is it. Like you said, it's they were playing who knows what build, you know what I mean? Those numbers could all be placeholder. And then the other thing we know for a fact from the Q&A and from seeing some of the previous videos and screenshots is that like, I remember it was like, I don't remember if it was on the website, but we talked about on the podcast, it was like a screenshot and one of the kits was like a meme kit. It was like a Rhino revolver, no armor, and like a scuffed helmet. And that kit cost a lot of money. That kit cost like 5 times the other kits because it had a little star at the bottom and it was like plus 15% XP gained. So we also know, because remember they said, like, remember I debated you because he said Magic the Gathering card system and you got excited, but it was not. We know it's going to be a card system where you're buying kits. And as a result of some of the information we've gotten recently, we know that some of those kits can have modifiers on them. So you might forfeit armor or better ammo for plus 10. And then the Rizzy kit, which is a double barrel shotgun and a balaclava, is like plus 10% money earned in Arena as long as you have that card active. So there's going to be a lot of like weird stuff to it that affect these things like cash flow and leveling. And then we know that, he said eventually it's going to be a high level unlock in the Arena, which is the ability to basically take whatever gear you want from your stash. Like you could basically buy a card that says, let me use my Tarkov gear and then build a kit.
Let me use my T7.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the worst thing to do in Arena. But we'll see. So I don't know.
I'd rather use a T7 in Arena than normal Tarkov, because the thing with games like this, like Arena-esque shooters, is how much knowledge and control you have that you don't have in Tarkov, right? Everything is unknown in Tarkov after the first 35 seconds of a raid, whereas we're gonna know where everybody spawns and what the most common meta pathing is.
Pretty quickly.
People are gonna be holding this angle. Like, mark my words, there's gonna be the first week, half the fucking content creators are going to be like, here are the 5 meta spots that you need to go. That you spawn in on fucking Dust 2
Flash
and you rush to B, and then you hold this angle if you have a voodoo, and 9 times out of 10 someone's going to pop around the corner, and then someone else, that's going to be the meta. It's going to be all about how to.
It's funny too because like there's always like map opinions. People are like Shoreline's lame or whatever. That's gonna be so much worse. Like, I mean, think about Call of Duty. People will like abandon lobbies if certain maps come up. You know what I mean? And it'll be like that, where it's like if the map flow isn't right or if people hate it, it'll be a whole different thing. That's why I'm really excited to play at the very beginning, because these games are the most fun before the metas form, when everybody's just running around doing whatever. And
that experience is so different. Like, you're gonna experience that, and then imagine you could put in a coma. Fast forward to 6 months from now, and then you're playing, and it's a different game.
Yep.
It's the same thing when I think about my first fucking day of high school.
Oh yeah.
I picture walking down the hallways, trying to find the classroom, not knowing where to go, and I'm picturing a different building. Like, it's so not different. The same. I'm not the same person, and I don't, I have a mental model that's different of everything. So it's completely different than what it ends up being.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, there was some interesting. I mean, like, so it's the more I see about Arena, the more I get excited to play Arena. The gameplay, even the scuffed IGN, or whoever was playing, even the like scuffed gameplay gets me excited for the gameplay. But then I also but it also still continues to like, concern me. And I have questions about like how it relates to Tarkov and money and gear and experience and leveling and XYZ. So we still definitely don't have all the questions answered, but like watching these after,
I've now, it only now occurred to me that you've been talking about a video that I have a screenshot of.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing specific in the video, but it's just like, yeah, there's some.
I can just toss it up and we can see a little bit of it while you're talking.
But like the big thing that gets me excited is just seeing like spawn, the rounds end quick, and then you're just back in. You know what I mean? It's like the rounds are like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, if no, like before the cleaning crew starts coming out, and it's just quick PvP. Do you see that?
All right, homeboy is also, he fucked up though.
Oh yeah, the guy just ran right in front of his teammate.
I'd be prone right there.
Yeah. Oh, see that freaking.
Be done. So.
See, but then that aim punch and the aim punch and the limp just make me sad. Like, look at that, dude. Like in an arena shooter. Yeah, most kids.
Which is exactly why I would be prone. That's another reason why.
Oh yeah, the prone play.
See, being prone right there, you shoot them.
Yeah.
You get double peaked.
Yeah, and you just hold mouse 1, dude.
By the time they come back, you're on the ground. It's gonna take so long for them to visually distinguish you from all the corpses.
Yep.
Instantly, their brain is gonna say, "Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he must have gone back around that," and then you're dead.
Deadsville.
Instead, he fucking tries to point fire while limping, while getting shot.
Yeah. But it's just like seeing like what gets me super excited is just the how quick everybody just gets back in. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. How many thousands of hours of Tarkov do you have? And just like how much, like when you die, 50% of your death is like frustrating that you lost your gear or your quest. And then the other 50% is like, I have to go back to my stash. I have to kit up again. I have to do, you know what I mean? And just every time I watch these arena videos, I'm like, oh my God, just being right back into the action with each round is very exciting. It's interesting like how he has his mags split up. Like this card, this kit, whatever he has, he's got 40 round mags and 60 round mags, and they have different ammos in them, which is weird.
Oh, I would be dragging and dropping one of those into my fucking backpack.
Yeah.
So that it didn't use them.
Yeah, 100%.
There's one that I prefer.
Yeah, there's like one with AP and then one with like a leg mat around, and you don't want to accidentally swap to that. But they have painkillers. Like I would have popped it just right at the beginning, and in case you get into a fight. They've got like hex grids on. I don't know, if these are like end game accounts or whatever. But it's interesting. So, and another interesting thing to talk about is like the team killing, right? So team killing is on, and the identifiers, I don't know if you noticed, but like, so in Tarkov, we have the armbands. In Arena, there's an armband on both arm. So they did actually like specifically try to make friendly markers a little bit more visible, and they're much brighter colors, and they don't clip underneath the armor. And all of the things I've seen, they're bright. It's red and blue, and they always sit on top of the armor, and there's one on each arm. Now,
how
team killing will still
determine that was
absolutely. Yeah, from there, I don't know, bro. I don't know. So the team killing is still absolutely going to be brutal.
You know what? Is it also USEC versus Bear, or are you just whatever your character is?
I actually don't know. That's a great question. It would be really smart if it was USEC versus Bear. That'd be
because that also like with CS:GO, the terrorist versus
that would be so smart.
Terrorist versus Americans. I don't remember what the other.
If it was Bear versus USEC, but so yeah, man. I don't know. It's it's interesting.
Well, I mean, at least they don't have the same.
Dude, yep, dude. And that's the thing.
Same bugs.
People were saying that, dude. It's like in the video that they're giving to IGN, it's the same bugs of like things not popping in. Oh, man. Yep.
Yeah, just stand out, dude.
Yep.
Yikes. So was this a video they gave to IGN, or did they give a build to IGN?
I think that this is just like random footage they captured from the game show and then just gave to IGN. But I don't know that. I don't know if they let the IGN guys play it and then the IGN guys just recorded their play session. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, like what the gameplay that I'm seeing is far more competent than I would assume from IGN.
Yeah. And I mean, it was probably just people that were there and excited to play. And I wouldn't be putting up my best numbers, you know what I mean, at a game show,
but
you know.
But here's the thing: if you had never played Escape from Tarkov before, this is someone who has
absolutely played Tarkov.
You know, 3 or 4 digit hours.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yep.
Because Tarkov is so fucking clumsy.
Yeah, that's true. If you didn't know,
you're new.
Yeah, you're right. This is definitely somebody that plays Tarkov. Was that like a grizzly on the couch? Like, I wonder if he could have looted that.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Enhance.
It is a grizzly, confirmed.
Yeah. Can't you see? It is. That looks like a fucking jack-o'-lantern body pillow.
Yeah.
And by that I mean not even just like
just
a couch
pillow. Yeah, just couch pillow.
Is a 10 out of 10 IGN. Someone in chat said, "Oh God, don't even get me fucking started."
Oh
dude.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna give Arena a 10 out of 10.
Oh my God, they've already given it a 10 out of 10. I guarantee you.
ESG already paid them off for the 10 out of 10.
Fucking clowns, man.
But yeah, so the most interesting thing from it was the end screen. It does look like I'm seeing USEX and Bears on the same team, which is a missed opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
how are people so fucking deaf?
I mean, those are
never mind.
Yeah,
never mind.
Those are questions. The biggest question I have, man, is around the audio. You know,
honestly, like this, they shouldn't have a single occlusion zone in this entire map.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I mean, there really shouldn't be.
Yeah. But
just make it fucking fully directional. No need to make any occlusion zones. Easy peasy.
Yep. We'll see, man. We will. But I want to play it. I want to play it so bad. So bad. I want to play it.
Someone asked me today how much of a donation would it take for you to play Tarkov right now? And I'm like, okay, for one day of playing Tarkov, I was gonna say 5,000. But I ended up saying 1,000 because I figured, like, listen, I could get my wife something really nice with that. And if, to take a step back, if someone was like, not a Twitch chatter, but, you know, like a genie comes out of the lamp and says, hey, okay, you can have whatever you want up to $1,000 for you and your wife. And as payment, you need to play Tarkov for a day. I'd be like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yep.
So then I said 1,000. And then someone asked how much it would take for me to play with you for a whole day. And for some reason, I said 2,000. Which, as soon as it like tracked in my head that like that should be more. But then I realized like it would be more fun. But basically, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fine. 2,000. And someone was like, and then you'd split it with him, right? And I'm like, why the fuck? I'm like, why, dude? He already plays
what
the
do you
game.
mean? He's going to do it anyway.
He doesn't need the incentive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm like, fine. Someone wants to donate fucking $2,000. One of it goes to Jesse.
No way.
One of it goes to wifey, and I'll play Tarkov for a day. And you'll never guess what happened. Nobody
donated. Nope. You could, it's funny, you should like one day you should revisit Tarkov and play the way you played Starfield. Where like it doesn't matter anymore, and you're just like reveling in the hilarity of it.
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, honestly, one day wouldn't even be like torturous.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be terrible because I wouldn't care. It would just be me laughing at how bad the game was.
Yeah.
Just like Starfield.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Dude, I mean, listen, I'm hobbling along, playing Streets, the ratting epidemic, the Armageddon that we talked about last week has continued. The literal last raid of the day, dude. We're like fighting some dude who throws a bunch of grenades and then he doesn't move. He's got a Lapua Magnum. He's got the Mark 18 shooting AP. He kills one of us. So then me and Erwin were like, well, I guess we have to go around and flank this guy because he's not going to move. And while we're on our flank, Erwin gets one tapped from a dude sitting up on a balcony. So then I'm like, okay, I got to flank this guy while I'm on the way to my flank. So then I start to flank the other guy that kills Airwing, run into another guy.
You flank the flank? Is that just running directly at them?
Pretty much. I'm trying to flank the guy that now killed Airwing. I run into another guy. I kill this guy. I loot this guy. I'm trying to figure out where this guy is. I go over. All that time, the guy that killed Airwing, exact same spot he killed Airwing from. Hasn't moved to loot Airwing, exact same spot. I go to that building and I wait and I hear some audio up there. So then I start moving up the building. And then he starts taunting at me. He starts taunting, "We got a rat here, damn it!" At me. And I was like, you actual... We got a rat. Stop ratting. Stop hiding. And so I was wiping back and I'm like, bro, you pushed me. Anyways, I roll all the way up the stairs. Still
killed his ass.
The same room he was in, the same balcony he killed Airwing from. After all this time, he's, running back and forth by the door. He's jiggle shooting. I mean, literally doing everything in his humanly possible to not move and expose any part of his body to me. And I get him with the old M67. They always bait him with the fuse time, dude. I throw the M67. He immediately scurries. I peek because I know I've got plenty of time on the fuse. Then it gets quiet and he's like, what's happening? Then the nade blows up. I'm already pre-pushing the nade. I kill this guy. Before I could even celebrate, his buddy comes emerging from a different room and kills me. They were just... And I was like, you know what? Whatever. It's just the way it is, man.
You know what I picture whenever I think about those kinds of guys in there. What's the name of the movie? This one. This is what I picture.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom. And I'm sorry to everyone.
Yep. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you know what I feel like with this fucking stupid setup? I literally feel like with Baba Booey on Howard Stern show, just like the fucking random dude that doesn't belong, that's just playing
pulling stuff up, yeah,
soundboard.
Oh
shit.
my god,
it's just oh god, what are you doing here? That's what I feel like. Oh shit.
Oh, so it was and that insult to injury, it was with the SVT, which I've been walding about all web. But I mean, listen, it is what it is. I've got basically I took everything that we talked about last week and I scripted it out and I'm making a video about it because ultimately, as frustrating as it is, and as much as I hate it, and as much as I'm gonna mauled about it, it's basically what we said last time. It's it's always gonna end that way. It's this is the logical conclusion of Tarkov right now, right? When you can't trust what you can see, when you can't trust what you can hear, when every single thing you do is louder than any of the audio you hear of your opponent, and when it's so funny, man. People are like, in the same breath, they'll be like, dude, the new painkiller effect worked. People aren't painkillering anymore. People aren't pre-popping anymore. Why is everybody ratting? It's like...
One of these things is exactly like the other.
Do you see it? You know what I mean? I was like, it used to be, when you got shot in the leg, it was super toxic, so you couldn't move, so you would pre-pop, so you could move. They didn't fix getting shot in the leg. Now you just don't want to pre-pop. What do we think is going to happen as a result? Taking painkillers toxic. Do we think more or less people will move around the map? So it's just funny that, so like I said, it's like I'm not defending it. I'm still trying to like run around and fight people or whatever, but it is the logical conclusion of the game right now. It's the only effective strategy, really. Unless you have 10,000 hours in the game and you can farm up money, right? Like I know I will never run out of money, which means I know I'll never run out of gear, which means I can just push some guy and die to his teammate sitting in the room. And it's frustrating, but it's not frustrating like it is for Johnny, who only has 200 hours, which is why I understand Johnny ends up ratting. I don't want Johnny to rat. When Johnny kills me, I will scream, what a rat. Like it's both things are true. It's like, I'm not defending. I wish that he wouldn't rat, but if he doesn't have the experience in Tarkov to basically just have unlimited money like I do, I understand that like he can't trust what he can see. He can't trust what he can hear, and getting shot at all is super toxic. So what the hell else is he going to do? If he hears something, he's going to turtle up until he gets the opportunity to one-tap me. And it's like,
He's AFK in a room. He's playing Starfield on his Xbox, and then he's just sitting there waiting for footsteps.
Yeah.
He's not paying attention to either game because he's watching TikTok on his phone.
Yep. So it's like, so I get it. You know what I mean? It sucks, but I get it. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Nothing really new in the Tarkov space. I was trying to think if there are any like balancing changes or tweets or anything. The worst part about the whole like conversation, just like constantly being like, rats, Chad, this, the really prevalent opinion here that, the new like trendy thing to just regurgitate at any given opportunity is like, this wipe is full of rats. Everybody's ratting, rat, 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 rat. And it's hard because like I will often yell when a guy really is ratting me. I'll yell, "What a friggin' rat!" You know what I mean? But everybody, it's like the cheating thing where it's like every time you died, there was that while where every time you died, everyone was like sus, 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 and it's like every time you die, it's like rat, what a rat, what a rat. And sometimes I'm like, no, he's not a rat. I literally heard him full sprint to me and kill me. What do you mean he's ratting? But the flip side of that is like the amount of times I kill a guy, I run, I flank, I kill another guy, an AI sniper scav shoots me, I kill a guy, I reload, I run, I kill another guy, I full sprint over here, I get to cover, and I start packing a mag, and then somebody goes, "You ratting? Are you ratting, bro?" And I'm like, dude, I killed a dude that was like full blown like ratting. He was like prone up on top of a Connex with nothing but like an AVT. Like when you think of like rat, like it was like a jump spot. You have to jump on the sandbags, to jump on the corrugated sheet metal, to jump on the Connex to rat. And I killed the guy. And I was going up there to loot him, but it looked like I was just up there. And somebody was like, "Oh, you in Stankrat's rat spot?" I was like, "Bro, no, I just killed this guy. I'm going to loot him." So like that's been the worst part, is it just like if somebody happens to click on your stream in a moment that you're not forehead to the W key, it's like, "You ratting, bro? This is a Stank Rat stream, Resident Sleeper." And I'm like, bro, chill.
These fucking degenerate. This is what I was watching a fucking TikTok from this teacher who was talking about how she's like a 7th grade teacher and all of her kids have like the math and reading skills of from 2nd to 4th grade.
Yeah.
They like can't point out what state they live in. They don't know what state they live in, couldn't point to it on a map. And these are the people that are they can't do any of those things, but they're capable of typing twitch.tv and then clicking on.
Yeah.
These are the people that we're dealing with. Like just the degen.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it with the Tarkov shenanigans. But before we move on, I do want to take a second and thank the first sponsor for this week's episode, and that is Factor.
Bro, you know what I'm having for dinner?
What?
You know what I'm having for dinner?
What?
I literally got a text message like 3 minutes ago. The butternut squash.
Ooh.
And sage chicken macaroni.
Ooh.
Waifu is cooking that up for me, and I'm so fucking excited.
Yes, dude.
To get that Factor.
Dude. Sage chicken macaroni sounds delicious. But yeah, with a busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. It's got chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. This is great. We love Factor. We've been sponsored by them for a while, and it's such... Literally, I talk about this every time, but this is my personal experience. I hate cooking food while streaming. I hate being away from the desk. I hate running out there and like preparing a sandwich or doing something. So I just end up grabbing Hot Pockets or something because I can just microwave it or whatever. So having a ready-to-eat meal kits is super awesome, super convenient, and they're delicious.
Yeah, and they have everything like... If
Tons
you're,
of stuff.
I'm super picky, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not really into fish. I'm not really into like a lot of the more obscure vegetable stuff.
Yeah.
And now, granted, they make it look good.
Oh yeah.
maybe one of these days I will try one of those options. But I mean, they've got everything from, vegetarian stuff to more health conscious stuff to family stuff. I mean, they've just got all the things.
Yep.
So,
which is super convenient. There's 34 weekly flavor packed, fresh, never frozen meals. So tons of variety. You can do like gourmet options, which are like even more premium ingredients. They have like over 45 add-ons. We always talk about the smoothies that they do, the like pre-made, pre-bottled smoothies. So like tons of different add-ons that are in the same vein of just like ready to go, ready to eat, ready to drink, stuff like that. That's super good. Once again, speaking of like convenience and being able to customize, there's like protein plus meals with over 30 grams of protein per serving. So like you really can cater it to what you like and what you're going for out of like your meals, which is awesome because the convenience is nice, but if it's convenient and gross or convenient and not the type of food you want to eat, that's one thing. So the flexibility of it and the scalability of how many different menu items and stuff is pretty sick. So so you can head to factormeals.com/pogcast50 and use code pogcast50 to get 50% off. That is code pogcast50 at factormeals.com/pogcast50 to get 50% off.
That's how satisfying. I am knowing.
Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this episode. So tell me about Cyberpunk. You have...
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you.
Show me
something real quick because the game
so
far has been incredible, and people have been asking me like, bro, what build are you going for? And like, to me, I've been playing it like an interactive movie. It's just so fucking immersive.
Hell yeah.
With the music. Like, have you seen John Wick?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Christ, I was getting ready for another gut punch.
I was like, secretly in my head, I was like, thank Christ he said a movie I've seen.
You know how like he would just, all you hear is like,
oh yeah,
that's like literally what so many of the scenes are. And actually, I don't know, did you get a chance to see? We'll get to this afterwards, but did you get a free 2 hours to watch my mega long video?
No, not yet.
So I have a little bit that maybe I can show some of the footage of just like me in the first few hours of playing, because I played Cyberpunk the day before I released my video, and I had to like stop the presses and put in like a 5-minute blurb about dude, because it was so good.
That's actually epic.
But so what I still don't realize is the extent of the things that you can do
in Cyberpunk
in the game. I'm gonna show you this like TikTok, and yeah, just watch. This is real gameplay.
dude. What? Jesus Christ.
Fucking
Yep.
so now it's like, oh, okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do.
it's so funky because like if you approach the combat in that game like you approach it some other games, it like looks really awkward and clunky.
Yeah.
There's like something special about doing it, and I do it about 10% of the time, where I'm like fighting a couple of guys, and like sometimes I'll frantically like missing with all the things, and I look like a complete and utter idiot.
Yeah.
And then there are a few other times where it's like, yo, that was so fucking badass.
Yep. Dude, I was watching Shroud play Cyberpunk, and like he's like late game character. He's speccing everything into basically like movement, like being able to jump higher.
Yeah.
And because and I was watching this, and I was watching him play, and I was like, what is happening? I mean, he is like ballet dancing around the map, traversing so much space in such little amount of time, just basically chaining finishing moves and stuff. And I was like, this is epic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, dude. And like, so I put into the Starfield video, like I don't even have like a super good computer anymore. Mine's like mega dated.
Yeah.
And so this is just like footage from my first day, like playing in the prologue. These aren't like cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like I'm controlling all these little camera zoom ins, and like, dude, it just looks so sick.
Yep.
And the whole time the music is like bumping. Actually, you know what? I'll play some of the music, because there's a little montage at the end that's so sick. And it's just like, you just compare this to the fucking all the shit that you see from Starfield. Like the contrast is insane.
You all right?
Never been better.
You're late!
Love it when you're mad. Gets my southern blood pumping.
Get in, or I change my mind.
Fucking mushroom cloud off in the distance.
Yep.
Dude.
I know you.
Watch the way that the subtitles come in here, because it's one of the coolest little things.
Let's see.
Oh yeah. They like translate.
But like, listen to the music, dude. These moments were legit like a movie, like tense.
Well, shit. Goes for you too. So what you think? Brick got it. I don't see any fucking brick around here, do you? You short, Cirque? Bang. Bring it, cocksuckers! I got some
Dude, the soundtrack is insane.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah. That's dope.
Oh my god. Look how good that is.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit. Oh god, it's so good. So the game's incredible.
That's dope.
There's like a bunch of janky ass little bugs.
Yeah.
Still, but like nothing super game breaking for me.
Yeah.
People have been reporting some crashes and stuff with like the new DLC but I don't have the DLC. But you know, like the bugs we're talking about is like if I hit like 5 pedestrians with a car, get out and shoot 2 people, then the cars start like driving away in a panic.
Yeah.
And you might end up with one like half underground doing this for a little bit before it like rights itself and drives away. And like those are the kinds of bugs in any game that I don't really give a fuck about.
Yep.
They're not like frustrating, they're more just like funny.
Yeah.
But overall it's tentatively it definitely has the potential to be like 9 out of 10 game. We'll see how it goes the further I get into it.
Yeah, I've heard like I played a little bit of it when it first came out, and I didn't have any of the, you know, it was a meme when it first came out, and there was a lot of like good reasons for that. I mean, it was like especially like the console ports were like really rough and stuff like that. But I played on a really powerful machine. I didn't run into any of that stuff. I just didn't play a lot. But I've heard they've done a ton to the combat, a ton to like the skill trees. Like I've heard it's like, because there's the whole, this is Cyberpunk 2 is what they're calling it, or 2.0, whatever. The huge update that basically, they've been slowly updating it, but it's a lot more than just, I've heard that it's a lot more than just they fixed bugs. They have really, since in the past 2 years, really like completely reworked how a lot of combat is, how a lot of the skills are, how a lot of the skill trees are. And then layered that on top of which is what they had strong the whole time, which is like dialogue and storytelling and world building. Those things were always really strong, but the game was either super buggy or whatever. So I've heard, like, I've been watching Deadly play it. He's going full. Have you been seeing his full melee combat? He's only using like wrenches and baseball bats. Like that's it.
See, that's sick. I haven't seen anybody's gameplay.
Oh, dude.
I haven't seen anybody's gameplay. Yeah. The gunplay feels it depends. They're definitely like can be bullet spongy for sure.
Yeah.
There are some like perks and stuff that add, you know, and better guns will add, you know, like with a sniper rifle, you know, I can one shot things. But it is a little immersion breaking when you roll up to somebody with like a big ass revolver, point it to their temple and go bang, and then you see they lose a third of their health and you're like, fuck. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean?
You ever think about like how the only thing that like the only thing that keeps people defending that when that happens in Tarkov is the fact that there's no health bar. Because like I can roll up to Big Pipe and shoot him in the head with a gun and he literally it doesn't, you know what I mean? But it's immersive in Tarkov. It's like, imagine if there was an HP meter above Big Pipe and you shoot him with M80 in the chest and it just takes 20% of it. Like people would revolt, dude. Anyways.
Ugh. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I bought it when it first came out and I played it. I had 2 hours on Steam.
Yeah.
I literally, it's been erased from my brain. I don't know what I experienced in those 2 hours. Whatever it wasn't like, wow, this game is dog shit, I'm done. I think maybe I just got like bored, or maybe Tarkov wiped the next day or whatever. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, I jumped in and was a totally new experience. And yeah, seems like a really, really, really good game. And I really like like you were talking about, the attention to detail, the world building.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, walking. I want to walk everywhere. I haven't fast traveled anywhere in all of my gameplay, which is like so contrast with Starfield, that is the way you fast travel.
Yeah.
From everywhere to everywhere else.
Yeah.
Even walking within cities, there's like loading bars between the doors of whatever. Yep. And it was like crazy the first day playing for like an hour and there not being a single loading screen. And you're just getting in cars, driving around, talking to things, getting in elevators, going up, seeing the things as you're going up. The door opens, you walk out, you open up a door, you'd see the thing, you walk into it, and like,
yep.
Yeah, it's sick. But like, and turning the corner and seeing like a drunk chick with her friend holding her hair back while she's like puking in the corner. You look over and there's like cops over like a dead body that was clearly killed in like a gang fight. And you pull into a bar and there's like someone ODing, like lying on the fucking pool table while like their friends are trying to keep them from dying. Like, there's just like, and then the people that are standing there, like in Starfield, it's just NPC Control V, Control C, Control V, 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 and they all just go, and they just walk in random directions and they say random things. You walk by and you see somebody sitting there smoking a cigarette, like everything just, I mean, every now and then there's some jank, right?
Of course.
But like, it just all looks so natural.
Yeah.
One of the first people you talk to, dude, just seeing, there was like a magazine in front of him. He was in like a booth of like a restaurant booth, right? And to see him like talk to you, and you can move around, and the whole time there's like a little bit of a delay where he like follows you totally naturally. He like sits down, pulls out a cigarette, lights the cigarette, grabs the thing, spins it around, puts it in front of him, and it just looks like a person doing all the things.
Yeah.
It's such a subtle thing, but like the only thing that has borderline made the game unplayable is that every time I see a hamburger, people just put them on the tables, and it's
there's no plates.
It's triggering. No, everything else has a plate. It's just I've seen 4 separate hamburgers, and they just go on people's tables and desks. I don't know what the fuck it is about this game. Like they don't have the hamburger tech in house. They haven't developed the engine to handle putting a hamburger on a
hamburger engine. Yeah.
But holy shit, I mean, it must have been, maybe they're worried about the hamburglar or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, game's pretty rad.
That's awesome. Dude. Yeah, I've seen some videos and some screenshots of some like cutting edge machines running like DLSS 3.5 or whatever it is, and like you need to look that up. Like, it's truly like crazy, like blurring the lines between just the best cutscene you've ever seen, just like driving around, and the DLSS and the like ray tracing. And obviously, those aren't things everybody can attain, and you're probably not getting 200 frames. That's probably at like 50 frames, but the game looks so good. The aesthetic of the game is just so sick. I mean, it always has been. It's what sold everybody on it all those years ago, because it was really cool. I've been watching a lot of Deadly play, and I like that the Keanu Reeves character doesn't feel like a token. Like cameo, he feels like a character. Like, the more I'm watching him do the cutscenes, and every once in a while you play as him, or what, Johnny Silverhands or whatever it is, like, he feels like a proper fleshed out character. It's cool. Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, it feels, I don't disagree, but he definitely feels just like John Wick. Like,
yeah, kind of like John Wick, like, Cyberpunk.
He's like John Wick, but a little bit more on the evil side.
Yeah.
Because like, at least John Wick was like chaotic good, Johnny's kind of a shit bag. But at the same time, he's got that little bit of a lovable. He's probably just riding on the back of Keanu, just being such a lovable guy.
Yep.
But there is like the Venn diagram with Johnny Silverhands and fucking
John Wick
and John Wick they're close to being one circle.
A circle, yeah.
But it also, like, I wouldn't even fucking care if it was John Wick.
Yeah.
It'd be whatever. But
Dan, so you said you don't have the new expansion?
No. I mean, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen anything at all, whatever. And it wasn't like, all I saw was Deadly post something about Cyberpunk being good.
Yeah. So you were like,
and then I was like, I'm going to play Cyberpunk tomorrow. And I hadn't watched anything since I played when it came out, the day it came out. So, and I prefer it that way, especially if I'm going to make content. It was the same way with Starfield.
For sure.
It was the same way, despite like all of the fucking revisionist history that the YouTube commenters, like that I was just piggybacking off of the hate train for Starfield. Look at the timestamps on the videos.
Yeah.
As far as I am concerned, from everything I see, I was the one that started the fucking hate train.
Yeah.
I don't actually think I started it.
Yeah.
But I was the guy that in my video, I'm like, everybody says it's good. Everybody says they're having fun. I don't know. I haven't watched anything. Here's why I don't think it's good.
Yeah. Also, you installed Starfield while we were recording a podcast. And at the end of that episode, you were like, I'm so excited to play this game. Like there was no preconceived.
I almost put that.
There was no preconceived notion. You weren't like, this game's going to suck. You were like hype AF to play Starfield.
I even recorded. I went back and I had to go through because it's like impossible to try to remember when and where we have these conversations. It's so much harder than you'd think to try to find like, when was the first time that Jesse said, hey, did you hear about Starfield? And then I remember me being like, what? I thought that was like 3 years out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like 1 or 2 weeks later, somewhere in an episode, you were like, hey, did you see it? And I was like, yeah, I did, but only 2 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And I went and found like all the references. I recorded it all. I had a whole scripted thing. It was like a 10-minute blip that was effectively, it was just basically being like, here's me proving to people who don't want to be proven, who don't care, who aren't going to pay attention, that I came into the game with an open mind and that I wanted it to be great. But at the same time, I was like, it could be dog shit. I don't know. I'm totally open-minded. I never came at it from the perspective of like hate. I actually don't prefer to make hate.
Yeah.
Like content.
Negative content,
like, but if I fucking think or feel something and I think it needs to get discussed and people will be entertained by it, then I'm going to fucking make content about it.
For sure. For sure. But that's, do you see any
what I ended up doing.
Potential content with Cyberpunk?
I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
One of the ideas, actually it'll fuck up my camera if I go to do the thing, but, randomly, and like I had like a boxing match, you know, like an underground kind of boxing match, and I look over in the corner and there's a dude, just like this fat dude chilling with his feet up with a guitar, and bro, the fretting he was playing, like it had to have been mocapped because like he was doing the 2-note octaves, and it was like. So I fucking sat there, went full immersion, hit record, and of course there's like a chick with your ass is hanging out, just like leaned over the balcony right now, and I want to make like a fucking cyberpunk beats to chill and study to, you know, like thing where I just have that because so I started to work on a little ditty.
Yes.
And now I have the technology. I kind of just want to take that little blip and just copy paste the video, put like the old, you know, TV VHS fucking effect over it and just loop it for like 10 minutes because here. This is actually from the game.
Oh. Hell yeah.
It's such a little such a bop, dude.
That's actually amazing.
I did that this morning. Like this morning I woke up and it was like 6 and I'm like, all right, I'm not streaming this early, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna fuck around with Logic Pro.
That's dope.
So I have a couple of ideas like that. Then I also have like I've got so many just full like cinematic clips that I feel like I could make a movie from.
Yeah.
Like I just want to put together a montage of like epic moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. A lot of people have been asking me, are you going to make like a Starfield versus Cyberpunk? And it's like, there's nothing more for me to say about Starfield. I showed, I didn't actually show all of it. I showed like a third of what I wanted to show, but it ended up being fucking 2 hours because I wanted to talk about some other games. I wanted to make a bunch of, but there's just nothing. See, and here's the thing. This is what people would accuse me of is exactly what I'm like not going to do.
Yeah.
I could make that video and there would be the same audience would still love it. And a whole new audience who loves Cyberpunk, not Baldur's Gate would come in and they would also love it. But I won't, because I don't think that there's anything more to add to the conversation.
Yep.
Which no one's going to believe me. Yeah. Right. But in my head, it's like that should prove to anybody who's doubting where my intentions are.
Yep. That
like, it's not about drama farming. I have these 11 fucking things that I feel like need to be talked about, and I'm going to put them in a video.
Yep.
Yep.
And the fact that people have asked if you would make that video is vindication of your opinion on Starfield. It's like, oh, here just so happens to be another RPG that's updating around this time that also is better in the dialogue or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the fact that people are even like, do a comparison here. It's like, yep, I could do it with a lot of RPGs.
Yeah. And but I mean, overall, the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. For the video, yeah. The 10 negative comments out of let me update 10 negative comments out of 1,091.
Yeah.
They have all been perfect encapsulations of tell me you didn't watch the video without telling me you didn't watch the video.
Yeah.
It was at one point, one of the things that I said was, and this was another last minute thing that I wanted to put in there. Remember how I tweeted, wow, that's disappointing. And I'd retweeted the clip that some guy had about before the game had come out of him running and then hitting the invisible wall in the world.
Yes.
And there's between that and between some other guy was talking about how you can't fly into gas giants or you can't fly into the sun, and the response from so many people was, well, why the fuck would you want it? That's really your criticism? You can't do these stupid things that make no sense. And it was like, no, that's not it. It's what those pieces of information represent. They're indicative of it's indicative of what on foot travel, the limitations of it. If now you can hit an invisible wall, well, wait a minute. It's not quite the fully meshed tile system that Todd Howard talked about. It's not like a full planet.
Yeah.
All of these things, it's not that we want to do those things. It's that if you can't fly into a gas giant, well, wait a minute. That also means that you probably are not going to be able to fly to the planet.
Yeah.
It's far more likely. I mean, you could argue that maybe they put a invisible box around the gas giants only, right?
Yeah.
But now there is something to be said about I went instantly to our the Sol system.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see Earth and whatever. I wanted to fucking fly, approach the fucking rings of Saturn and see that perspective.
Yeah.
Because all of these really cool games that do all this stuff, they're in some fictional universe where there's not Earth, there's not Saturn, there's not the moon, there's, you know what I mean? So it's yeah, sure. Part of me was excited to see what would it be like to fly into, such and such a thing, whatever. I guess I'll go to play Kerbal Space Program or whatever for some of this shit. But yeah, it's not about us not wanting to be able to do those things. It's that the fact that you can't do those things tells us the limitations.
Yes. Yeah.
And everything that we were worried about from what we were able to assume based on those limitations were true times 10.
Yeah.
If you're in a city, you come out of a building, you're in a building, you leave the building, there's a loading screen. Now you're standing in front of the building and you see the door to like the next part of the city is across the street. You walk across the street, you open the door, it's a loading screen.
Yeah.
You walk out of the front, out from that door, you get into your ship. There's a short loading transition. You get to the cockpit, and then you open up a menu, and you hit button, click, LRX, hold down X for 3 seconds, or whatever. And now you have been transported into a box in space that you can't go anywhere in. And then if you want to go to the planet that you want to land on for the quest, right?
Yep.
You need to do the same menu bullshit again.
Yep.
Everything we learned about not being able to fucking all of those things, right?
Yep.
Those were hints at that stuff.
Yep.
And it's like I did a last minute throw in a couple clips because I ended up watching a couple days before I was done. You ever watch Lex Friedman?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Howard
I've
was
seen
on there.
clips of the one with Todd Howard. I didn't watch the whole thing, but yeah.
And like there's just so many things in there that in hindsight now I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm never gonna be the guy who's like, this person lies, like all like Todd Howard lies, Sean Murray lies, whatever. I'm not going to pretend I know their motives
For sure.
Maybe maybe a lot of the things they said were I give a lot of people way more of the benefit of the doubt than maybe they deserve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just assume at that point these were things that were aspirational.
Yeah, they really wanted to
whatever.
do, yeah.
But there's a few things that's just like, I don't know, that really bug me. So like, and at the same time, these are also conversations that like I haven't had with anybody. So other than like I say it and then like maybe a commenter will respond about that one point in a 3-hour video, 2-hour video. But like if you're watching a clip from, the Starfield Direct or from Lex and you see Todd Howard say, you look up in the sky and you see that moon. Like isn't a backdrop. You can go there. It's a real thing, really modeled. We've modeled all of this stuff. It's a real, and you can go there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Nothing he said was a lie.
Yeah.
But is there anything that like, doesn't that imply so much?
Yeah.
Isn't there so many implications to what he says there that 98 out of 100 people would just take for granted as like, oh, what's the point of modeling? What's the point of modeling the whole solar system realistically, right? The day-night cycle, it's not just a skybox. If you're not going to fly there.
Yep.
Like, hey, Todd, make it a fucking fake-ass skybox, and then maybe I'll get 30 more frames. Like, why are you modeling it if I can't go there?
Yep. Yeah.
And I make the joke where it's like, and it started off as a joke, and then every time I see it, since I like edited this like little 3-minute bit about how it's not an open world game, I'm more and more convinced that the metaphor was perfect. Remember the old NES like Mario, the whole above the overworld map where it's like and you just go from the dot along the line to the dot along the line to the dot along. Super Mario is an open world game. If Starfield is, then you're in a level and you do all the stuff in the level, but then you go to another map to travel to the next area.
Yeah.
They're like one's 2D and one's 3D, but really they are roughly equivalent in terms of, and it's more convenient in Super Mario to fast travel between two fucking areas.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So,
oof. But the response to the video has been pretty good. It's been doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said,
really do want to watch it because, like, I'm still really interested in Baldur's Gate and want to learn more about it and appreciate the, obviously we've been having these conversations for a few weeks now, so I really do want to catch the video. But I'm glad that it's doing well.
Yeah. So it's so funny how many people are like, I've got 250 hours in this game. I've done 4 playthroughs. And I haven't seen any of the shit that you showed in your video. Well, like at the beginning, I'm like, spoiler alert. I talk about the main story. I don't I show a lot of the important points, but I don't give a lot of important details.
Yeah.
Like I show the bad guy characters, but like there is a moment where like the mask, you can see through it. I don't like show that, but I talk about most of the main plot points.
Yeah.
But like Baldur's Gate, there were a lot of people that were like, I'm not going to watch because I want to play through Baldur's Gate. Most of the spoilers are like, you might have like a couple of alternate ways of solving a puzzle spoiled, or like a couple of little Easter egg moments, or if you did this in this situation at this time, then this would be the outcome.
Yeah.
But like, I don't talk about the story at all.
Yeah. And the chances, because of how complex the game is, that you would come to that situation in the exact same way you did are relatively slim.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to like try for it.
Yeah.
So I think like most people don't have to worry too much about
that's good.
Too much about that, but I'm super super happy with it. It's got it's been 1 day.
Yeah.
46,000 views. The graph is like a fucking
45 degree, just like yep.
And unlike my other Starfield video, which instantly got like I lost like 80 subs, and it was at like 20% downvotes for the first couple hours.
Yeah.
And then it was like 18%, 17.
For
like as the masses were coming in, it like watered down the instant like Todd Howard fan club.
Yep.
But then also the other, and then it went from minus 80 subs to plus 300 or whatever. So I'm already at 272 new subscribers.
That's dope.
It's actually really interesting that of all the searches, the number one search for this video, at least the traffic, was Baldur's Gate 3, which I didn't expect. 28%. So 28%. Now, granted, search was only 3% of the traffic. Almost all of it was just from browse.
That is fascinating.
But then the number 2 YouTube search term is Veritas. Like I wonder. Like,
I wonder.
Are they searching like Project Veritas, like or like
or
it's
and
then like 11% was Starfield, 3% was Starfield review, 1% was Starfield is bad.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know. Fucking weird.
Well,
but
that's awesome. I'm glad it's doing well. A few other little things, but before we get to those, I want to take a second and thank the second sponsor for today's episode, and that is BetterHelp. We love BetterHelp. You guys know this. BetterHelp is an online platform where you can get counseling or therapy, and it's awesome. It's something that Veritas and I both deeply believe in, have personal experiences with. We talk all the time here about some of the struggles that we go through with what we do with content creation and how that just like weighs on us and messes with us, and having somebody to talk to about whatever's going on in your life, whether it's something that's actually happening or, like I always try to throw in there, preventative. Just having somebody to talk to, having somebody to sort through things, having somebody that hears you, that you're not afraid is going to judge you, that you're not afraid is going to wonder what they think of you if you say the things that are really creep up in the back of your head, is tremendously valuable.
Dude, it's insane how often the things that like I talk about with my therapist on a daily basis, it really does feel kind of like a little, like a little angel on your shoulder, where I'm like, fuck, like, no, we talked about this or that.
Yeah.
It's one thing thinking something. It's another thing subconsciously thinking something and not actually like being conscious of it. It's another thing entirely to then say it with your mouth hole to another human and then have them bounce back.
Either
nothing, silence, and just listen, or not. It's so crazy how often I will say a thing and then I'm like, something just clicks when I just I explain out loud the thing that I have been thinking about X hours a day for weeks.
Yep.
And the moment I say it out loud, I suddenly like, oh, I know the answer.
Yep. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Yeah, I don't know what that phenomenon is called, but it's real. Having somebody and the freedom of having somebody who it's not like so many of the things we want to say or we want to talk about, we don't because we're afraid of how people are gonna like think about us. But literally, this is the context to like somebody wants to help, somebody wants to listen, somebody wants to be there. So I mean, we've talked a lot about a lot of the stigmas of therapy and counseling and just like this, these ideas that like something is wrong with you that needs to be fixed. And it's really just having somebody to talk to converse with, to just share these things with, and somebody that can help just like guide you and ask questions and just help you see things in a different way. So we love it. And then also what's great as far as like BetterHelp and how they provide this, it's an awesome and once again, convenient way to do it. This moving all online really is kind of like the next evolution of this, being able to schedule with people. If you don't vibe with that person, being able to schedule with someone else unbelievably easily. BetterHelp wants to support you in getting somebody that fits with you, being able to write notes or send questions throughout the week. It's just all super easy. So it's awesome. We love it. And we're excited to have them a part of the show. So you can discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Pogcast today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/Pogcast. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this episode.
Do it. Go
do it now.
Yo, okay.
Get to
so
the chopper.
have you watched fucking Ex Machina yet? Because you had homework.
Not yet. I need time. I need more time.
It's not like you got a family or kids. You got no excuses.
No, literally no excuses. But I want to. We were talking about this on the PP. For those who don't know, on the Patreon episode about Ex Machina and how I need to watch that, among many other things.
Dude, we need to watch that.
I need to watch.
We need to do like a watch party. I still want to watch either The King of Kong.
Oh yeah.
And or Indie Game the movie.
Yeah, I remember we've talked about that.
Those are both so good, and just being able to like do a watch through with just the two of us chilling, and then slicing it up into like key moments where we're commenting on whatever, so fair use and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think would be so good because all of the like Carl Jobst. Are you familiar with Carl Jobst?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been dropping by the stream and hanging out. Like he just resubbed.
Oh,
yesterday.
That's sick.
Yeah, he's such a cool dude. And I've just been super, super enjoying the fucking saga. The saga that has been him and his lawsuit with Billy Mitchell.
Oh.
Because Billy Mitchell, dude, he is... Oh, God. He is a caricature of a fucking supervillain in real life, but without any competencies other than being the ultimate cringe lord.
I don't know anything about that. I literally just pulled up Carl Jobs' channel, and I see, Billy Mitchell accuses me of fraud during insane rant.
Dude, it's so fucking bad. This guy, I'm fully convinced he's incapable of telling the truth. He is like the closest thing to like a noteworthy figure that I've seen that I'm like, I want to diagnose him as a pathological liar.
Interesting.
Like you ever have one of those friends that you just know everything they tell you is complete bullshit? They would just be like, yeah, dude, all the story you just told me, same thing happened to me, except 100 times crazier and less believable. And I also have the same exact story of something that happened. I knew a friend, it's like, you're just riffing and you're making shit up. And like, that's what he is, except it's always about how he's the greatest video gamer in the world. Like he literally he literally talked for like the last like 15 years. He has been talking about how he was video game player of the century. Okay. This is when fucking, I don't even know, the head of Nintendo gave me the video game player of the year award. Video game player of the century award. And he's got the picture of him on stage getting the thing. And all of this stuff with all of his lawsuits, all they're doing is exposing his lies because like he has to prove the shit he's saying.
Yep.
So like he like fabricated, he like made a fake copy of the little trophy thing that he had, because at no point was he ever, he was given that for like having like a high score in Pac-Man back in the day.
Yeah.
But like he just made up this whole video game player that, and it's so funny. Carl puts together a montage where he's like, "Hey, Billy Mitchell, I'm the video game player of the century," and he's just constantly saying it over and over and over and over and over. And it's like, and he just made it up,
just like,
and then like,
confidence is key, man.
And then he holds the little thing, and if you like do the whole CSI enhance on the thing, like you can see that the plaque doesn't say what he says it says, and then he all of a sudden he said he. At one point, he said he gave the little statue away, the little like trophy, because they were like, "Okay, show us the thing." And because of the lawsuits that he is in, he has to like prove all of these things, and he's just shooting himself in the foot over and over and over again.
Dang.
He literally made like a copy of like a trophy, and you can just tell it's like the proportions aren't right. Like this you weren't holding this in that picture. It's like total. Dude,
people are so weird. Like, it just, how and why? Like, I just cringe at the thought of like doubling down in a very exposed lie. Like, you just have to like, you just bury yourself deeper and deeper. It's so gross. That reminds me of, did you watch the H Bomber guy video, the like oof.mp3 or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Bruh,
when it first came out.
What was that guy's name? Johnny Guitar or something like that? That whole thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about that whole aspect of the video.
Yeah, Roblox_oof.mp3. Yeah, where it ended up, he was like, I didn't want this video to be 2 hours long. I set out to just do the origin of the sound. And then the second hour of the video ended up being like this investigation into this dude who just like made up everything about his career and like didn't work on video games or whatever.
Yeah, Billy Mitchell is that, but times 5.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so this is like the thing, like this is fake. He literally went so far as to make this up.
Oh
this
my God.
is completely fake. Like if you look at the picture of the one that he got, it's got like a different ribbon. Like, and then like if you zoom in,
he's like faking them from memory. Like,
right? Like you would think that.
Yeah,
I mean, you could just straight up tell it's just not the same fucking thing. And of course, like this all came out because at one point it was that he had said, "Oh, I don't have it anymore. Sorry, so I can't produce it." So then they're like, "Okay, well, what'd you do with it?" And he's like, "Okay, I donated it to some like video game Hall of Fame thing." And they're like, "Okay." And then they went and talked to them, and they're like, "We never got anything." So then he goes back and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I lost it." And then like randomly, months later, he comes out and he's like, "Oh no, wait, I found it. Here it is." And it's like,
he did
the same thing.
He did some arts and crafts and he found it.
Oh my God, dude, it's so.
Dude, what a maniac! Like, how do people live this way, dude? How do they live their lives? It's weird.
And you watch the guy talk. And first of all, Carl just absolutely and utterly just roasts him in the most savage way possible, and it's so satisfying. But like you watch this guy talk, and you just see when they like catch him and just straight up lies.
Yeah.
Like at one point, he lied about the color of the joystick on the cabinet, like the Donkey Kong thing that he played on, because like if it's not red or blue or whatever the color is supposed to be, if it's not that color, it's not an original thing. It's got a modded stick, some aftermarket stick, and as such, it's not Like you can't have a world record on a machine with different hardware, different software. You know, it has to be legit. And it was proven that all of his stuff was done on emulators, and he denied it for years and years and years and years. And then after it all got exposed, he then was like, oh, okay, yeah, it was on the video that you have of the gameplay. I now acknowledge that it shows emulated gameplay, but that's not the original tape. Someone else made that. It's not the tape. But I don't have the tape. We don't know where the tapes are.
So just trust me.
And then the guy who is like the poor, sad, like hero of the King of Kong, the guy Steve Weeby, who's like the nicest dude ever, who just gets like steamrolled by these fucking clowns. He's like, he should have had the record, and all of his records got taken down because of Billy and all this other bullshit. Steve went and like looked through his old cardboard boxes, and he had like an original copy of the tape that was made before all of this shit went down, like literally 12 years ago. And it shows identical. It shows that it was done on MAME, which is the emulator.
Oh my God.
So it's like, it's just, and he gets caught in these lies. It's so good. Like the lawyer was like, would you ever play? He sets it up flawlessly. He sets it up flawlessly where it's like, okay, you know, he played on a cabinet because there's a picture of him standing in front of it at like the Mortgage Brokers Association of like 1997. That's when he like did the record live.
Yeah.
Except he like didn't. Like he like pretended to play for a few minutes, and they're like, "Oh, congratulations," because he already had like a video of the gameplay beforehand. Oh. But they knew he was he played on a modded thing, right?
Yep.
So they asked him like 900 lead up questions where they're like, you know, would you play if like what are the buttons supposed to be? You know, what's the color of the text supposed to be on the thing? You know, like what, you know, ask him all these set. Oh, what's the color of the joystick? You know, oh, okay, cool. And then like move on from it, right? He says it's supposed to be red. It's like, okay, cool. And then he's like, what would happen if this was changed? What would happen if the stick was anything other than red? And he's like, oh, I would absolutely never play it because that would prove that it was modded, blah, blah, blah. And they just and then they're like,
here's a picture.
They put the picture in front of him where it's him in front of the thing that he played on that's clearly not, and it's like, you look at the wheel, the cogs are turning.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I don't remember. I can't speak to this, you know, whatever. Or this was him about doctoring the thing, and it's like, he's like, are you sure?
Are
you sure?
Dude,
and
people
it's
like
just
that.
So fucking shameless, dude. And he just sues and sues and sues and sues everybody who says anything.
How do
it's
people
such
like
an
that
epic
have
saga.
lawyers? It's unreal.
I mean, dude, he doesn't have to win to get paid.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So,
dude, that's unreal. That is unreal.
Yeah, it's super satisfying. You guys should check out Carl Jobst and all of his fucking content that he has on Billy Mitchell. Remember how I said last time about the random little blip that I was like dying laughing at, where his wife, Steve Weeby's wife, was talking about him, and she was like, he could have been a professional baseball player. He's a Donkey Kong, you know, player. He did all these great things. He was a basketball.
Yeah.
And like Carl, his fucking humor is just so fucking hilarious. It's so dry.
He was a basketball.
And he's like, how can you like how can you second guess this guy when he, you know, is like this fantastic teacher, he got this degree, he was even a basketball
dude.
You know,
oh
like,
my god,
just so straight face. I just love that line.
Oh,
he was a basketball.
That's epic. Dude, speaking of insane things, the Unity we talked about, which kind of like exploded and everything with like Unity doing their thing. Have you caught up at all with like what's happening there?
No.
They basically like rolled it all back. Like they were just like, never mind. They released a whole new set of like, because they did the classic, we're sorry, we're taking things under consideration, and people just continued to hound them. A bunch of developers were like threatening to just pull their games down and rebuild in another engine. Like, and anyways, they basically redid the whole thing, and like the runtime fees, like it went from, it's if you made $100,000 from your game to $200,000, and the whole new rule set from it was also only on Unity 2024 or later. So like if you never upgrade to Unity 2024, none of these rules apply. And basically I saw a bunch of like tweets and a bunch of developers being like, these are relatively reasonable. Like this is a reasonable change, but it's just, you've just torn so much trust. So like I say that to say that I don't know enough about the terms of how these things work. I only defer to a few people that I saw tweet like, this is actually relatively reasonable, but as a result of such an unreasonable original thing that it was kind of scuffed.
Okay. Am I the only person that I don't feel bad for like the corporation?
Yeah.
But I just hate how company and or person does a thing. Actually, I even tweeted about this unrelated to Unity, and now it's even more appropriate. It's found out, hey, that wasn't cool for whatever reason. We are mad at you.
Yeah.
You have two outcomes. The person doubles down and they dig themselves deeper and get more divisive and whatever, and they just become the ultimate douchebag. And then people are like, you should have just fucking apologized.
Yeah.
Like put your tail between your legs.
Yeah.
Suck up your ego and just fucking say you did the wrong thing. Be a man, own up to it, and move on. And then in the situations where companies and or people say, okay, guys, we hear you. We fucked up. Everybody's like, naturally they do the whole corpo, we fucked up thing. And then they walk it back and apologize. And these motherfuckers. And it's like, would you it's like, what?
Yeah.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. They did the right thing. If I was looking for a new game engine, I wouldn't go through Unity almost specifically because of this thing.
Yeah.
But that's the extent of what my outrage is. We don't need to like harass them and cancel them on Twitter. It's like,
for sure. I get that. I think it depends. Like, not it depends. I definitely don't disagree that in general our society right now is very like unwilling to see any sort of like apology or any steps towards redemption as valid. I definitely get that because of how much is done so publicly on the internet. Everything is always assumed that thing done publicly is just for publicity or for whatever. So like an apology is like, oh, you're just trying to save face, whatever. I think it's harder, especially in a situation like this where you have like some of the stuff that's been made really public, like the guy who's the CEO came from EA and was like piloted a lot of the scummy programs that plague a lot of their games now. And the thing itself just being
now, if all of the tweets were like, this guy is a scumbag and he's probably been at the helm of this thing and whatever, I would actually have a different feeling.
For sure. I think, but the other thing is like, it depends. It depends on what it is. I don't have a trendy analogy. You know what I mean? But like if somebody does something that's a little out of pocket and is like, I'm sorry. No, probably you're right. People are going to be like, yeah, F you, man. But when somebody, especially like a corporation, does something crazy out of pocket, like unheard of, completely anti-consumer, anti-developer, anti-everything, I just want money. And then it's like, we're so sorry. It's just harder to. So I get it, but I don't because I definitely agree with you that I wish that the criticism, isn't to like every person that works at Unity. I'm sure there were a lot of people that worked there that was like, this is a joke.
I'm sure there was
you know what I mean?
Three people wearing ties
that made the whole decision. Yeah.
And then everybody else who's just a fucking dev there that gets paid normal wages and goes there and just codes or whatever, right? And I want to caveat everything by saying like, I don't think that you should be able to apologize and just get a pass.
For sure. Yeah.
Because then that motivates companies to go, yo, let's see if we can fucking sneak in
Exactly.
this thing.
How far
then,
can we push it? Yeah.
Because if they can do the thing, oh, they got caught. Oh, sorry, won't happen again. Okay, just let them go. Okay, well then they're just gonna keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like you need a punishment for the crime.
Yeah.
And then also I recognize that, like, I think a lot of the response is it's in response to probably 10 or 20 years of now that things are like on the internet and everybody knows about everything all the time, constantly, instantly, right away. It's not just if you saw the news or not.
Yeah.
There's been far too many cases where someone fucks up, does the thing, and says, I'm sorry, I'm going to do better, we've learned. And then the next day they do the same fucking thing.
100%.
So that
Literally,
now people just, they don't trust anybody who has any, and the reason why it's the same with the cheater situation with all of these things, where it's like with false bans. I'm not planning or expecting, here's the clip that gets played in the documentary about the rise and fall of Veritas, where it's like, I don't plan on getting canceled or whatever, but I'm sure I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to say something that I'm probably going to be like, all right, I'm sorry, I fucked up, right? But it's like, if I want to be able to be a human, be imperfect in front of a gajillion people.
For sure.
And if I make a mistake, I want to be able to say I'm fucking sorry and own it.
Yeah.
And have that not be like, well, sorry, it's irredeemable. You are in the same category as, fucking insert mass murderer here, right? Like, you are dead to society because you said some dumb shit. It wasn't a funny joke or whatever. And so the whole backlash against people who apologize genuinely or we don't know how genuine anything is. You have to just take people's word for it. But just like people getting banned, some amount of them are false banned. We know some amount of the people that apologize
mean it.
They actually made a mistake and they genuinely mean it. So all of the like, fuck you, we don't accept your bullshit fake ass apology, yada yada. It's like, I'm almost primed to then just double down on whatever it was and not apologize.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucked if I apologize and I'm fucked if I don't apologize. So I might as well, now I wouldn't necessarily do that unless it's something I actually feel like I should double down for, whatever. But like, I don't know. I just hate, maybe it's just me saying how much I fucking hate outrage culture and how everybody just wants to burn everything to the ground all the time.
For sure.
And it's like, we should consider this a W for, not a W for unity, but like a W for the Unity community.
Unity community.
Because it's good. There was an okay resolution, and it actually seems, and I might be wrong on this, but like reading a little bits of their response here and there, it seems like they might actually be making, and again, I could be wrong. Yeah. But it sounded like they were making walking everything back and then a little bit further, where it's like, oh, and also now you have to hit 250,000 instead of 100,000.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how that worked either. I think it's just, I mean, I don't inherently disagree with anything. I think for me, a big thing is like a person versus a corporation. Like, you know what I mean? If a person I know said something and then was apologizing, it's a lot easier. Not necessarily, it's not easy, but it's easier to like see intention, to see if someone's really genuine. I think when a corporation does it, especially when they're messing with like, that they're not just messing with like their employees, but they're messing with like the developers and the people that they rely on to keep Unity open. And then therefore the gamers that play, like there's just like so much to it. It feels harder to accept an apology. And to be fair, also, I haven't seen too many people, I'm sure they're out there, but I haven't seen too many people say burn Unity to the ground. It was just more like, this is reasonable, but like the trust, like it has been, like it's hard, it's hard to, like Road to Vostok announced that they're like pausing development of the game and moving off of Unity. He's like, it's early enough that I don't want, I can't afford any of these hiccups in the future. Like, I'm just going to stop, port everything over, and then resume.
Yeah, I think it's less about the burn Unity to the ground, and it's more to like maybe hone in a little bit more focused on I think like what upsets me, not upsets me, but like what I dislike the most is people calling into question how genuine anyone is about apologies. And like I said, I had a tweet about this very thing weeks before the Unity thing ever happened. It was just like, because imagine you fucked up right now and you have to make an apology. Go ahead, Jesse. Apologize in a way that people aren't going to be like, oh, he's just saving his ass. He's just doing the whole, oh, we're taking accountability. We're sorry. We just want to be better.
For sure.
What would you rather them say? Go fuck yourselves. I was right.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to say I'm sorry I fucked up and I'm going to do better without saying effectively that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just think people need to look at apologizing and they see, oh, here's the formula for bullshit fake apologies. And then they say, if anybody apologizes in this way, that is the way that everyone apologizes, because there's no other fucking way than to say, I'm sorry and I'm going to try to do better.
Yeah. Then
instantly dismiss that and say, they haven't learned anything and it's a fake apology. And
I mean, I think it's once again, I don't disagree with you at all. But I think the climate of today's culture with like, how corporations apologize. I mean, like pick a company, right? Like Facebook's like, we're really sorry we sold your data and didn't tell anybody. You know what I mean? Google's like, oh, we're really sorry we did this, Ring cameras. We're really sorry we literally expressly say on our website we do not collect any of your data, and then we were selling all of your data.
And then Sean Murray at Hello Games says, we're sorry, we're going to do better.
And they do.
Then he goes and they fucking knock it out of the park.
But that's the thing, though, is that like, it's understandable to me. Like, I completely agree that I wish more people, like, obviously less outrage culture, more empathy, and less just like, nobody cares about your opinion. You don't have to put it on the internet. Like, you know what I mean?
And none of these people also care about Unity. None of them.
Exactly.
None of them.
And I agree with you there. But on the flip side, I do empathize with the fact that, like, for every Sean Murray, there's 99 people that don't mean it, and the mess up wasn't an explainable thing. It was literally like, let's just try and sneak this in, and then, oh no, we got caught. But here's the thing, though, is that, so two thoughts I had while you were saying that. One is like, for the developers that work at Unity, this is kind of what I'm talking about, not like Johnny Pants 69 that's tweeting like burn Unity to the ground. Like when somebody does do something, you know what I mean? I've been married for 12 years. So when I do something that legitimately like deeply offends my wife, or my wife does something that deeply offends me, an apology is what you want to hear and not what you want to hear at the same time. Like, this being married too. Like, I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? And it's like, part of you wants that person to say they're sorry, but part of you's like, shut up. Let me feel like I'm angry. I'm angry you did this thing. I'm sorry. You do want to hear that in that moment. If they had said, no, you do suck, or I'm not taking out the trash anymore, doubling down on that would be more offensive. You do want them to say you're sorry, but you do feel hurt. And the apology doesn't immediately fill that void. And so the Sean Murray thing, I was going to bring that up too. You brought it up. It's like the real proof is in what comes after. The obvious proof is that any game, that 99.9% of the gamers that said, I can't believe Sean Murray did this, I can't believe Hello Games did this, this is such a scam, this game is a scam, 99% of them are back on the game and they say it's amazing, and now they're the ones like, oh, have you seen the rise, the redemption arc of No Man's Sky? They do come back. It's the proof is in what happens after. So what happens next for Unity? What happens over the 3 to 5 years? Are they apologizing again in a year? Or is Unity legitimately a really great place to make games in 2 years? I don't think you can really judge either party. The develop, and once again, I'm talking about the like reasonable developers who are genuinely hurt by this. I'm not talking about like the outrage culture. I can't look at, just like you say, you can't look at them, the Unity guy, and say his apology is not genuine, I can't really look at the developers and say your frustration is out of line. I don't
know. And everybody I'm talking about is not the developers who develop on Unity.
Yeah.
Those are the people that care and they have vested interests and understand and whatever. It's all of the people who pretend like they care about any of this and they don't. They just want to burn something down.
Right. You're right. And those are the people that wouldn't fit into that analogy, like the marriage analogy. You know what I mean? That would be like me apologizing to my wife and my neighbor being like, I don't accept your apology. It's like, well, I wasn't apologizing to you. You know what I mean?
I don't give a fuck if you care to accept it or not. You know.
So I think it's just one of those things where it's like, what happens right now is kind of meaningless. Their apology is meaningless, and their reaction to the apology is meaningless. It's what happens next. Do they really act on that apology? And then what happens next? You know,
I think, well, there's two paths. There's the redemption path, and then there's the you dug yourself a hole.
Yeah.
You probably should go bankrupt in X months because everybody's going to abandon you because you fucked up big time. The first thing you need to do on the redemption path is to say we're sorry and we fucked up.
For sure.
It's like, cool. Now you fucking learned your lesson. And then you sit back and you watch and wait.
Exactly. And see.
You don't go, yeah, you fucked up, huh? You fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up, huh? Slap in the face. You fucked up. Yeah, you piece of shit. Oh, you fucked up. Yep. Oh, yeah, you don't talk to him. He fucked up. Nope. You know, like it's like this weird bully, let's kick the fucking dog down the road thing where it's like they fucked up. They've made asses themselves. They're sitting on their face with their dick and balls out on the pavement. Everybody's laughing at them. They're sitting in their own piss.
Yeah.
And they're like, my bad. At that point, you're like, all right. Are we fucking good?
Yeah.
Cool. And then you move on.
Yeah.
You know?
I see what you're saying. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what happens as a result. It's interesting because obviously we don't know anything about anything. I don't know if like Unity's on the verge of bankruptcy and they were like, holy cow, we need to make some money off these games or else we're going, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the behind the scenes was, but either way, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'm going to get canceled about my opinion about getting canceled.
Yeah. Your opinion on who should or shouldn't be getting canceled will get you canceled.
Students as a math teacher. He is supremely talented, playing multiple musical instruments and creating breathtaking musical works. He could have been a professional sportsman. He was even a basketball.
He was a basketball.
And of course, he's one of the greatest video game players of all time.
He was even a basketball.
Dude, I almost spit out my fucking tea when I watched that the other day. He was also a basketball.
He was even a basketball.
Dude, and it's only Carl can do like a gamers. You'll never believe the most epic sponsor I've ever had. We all know the greatest game of all time, Raid Shadow Legends. And it's like, I'm so glad that he's just taken their money from them because like, you know that he can say the greatest game of all time and everybody's like, yo, get that back, dog.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. I feel like there has been a turn where it is legitimately most people I see get sponsored by them. I'm like, oh, I'm just happy you're taking their money. Like everybody knows it's a meme at this point, you know?
It depends on who, for sure.
Yeah.
If I made another video, if I made a Cyberpunk is bad video, and I had a Raid Shadow Legends, it would be like, wow, it would be overwhelmingly like 20% plus would be like, wow, you really have just fucking sold out.
Yeah.
You absolute clown. Like the only way around it would be, it would have to be, I would have to do the ad in such a way that they would never want me to do another ad for them.
Yes.
It would be a one and done.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, the greatest game ever. Check it out. And I would show like some jank ass bullshit. That's the only way that I could get away with it.
Okay, so last thing I saw, there's this guy I've just seen. I don't follow him, but I've just seen his TikToks before, and he makes these that's like super inspirational music, and as he speaks in this like really inspirational tone, but it's all like complete like depression, anxiety. Like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford a house. I think I'm going to die poor. And it's like, he's like twirling around and like, that's just his shtick. He does it about like a bunch of different things. And it's just funny. And I saw and I swiped up and it was like paid partnership at the bottom. And he was like, and they let him literally, he was like, I finally did it. I sold out to a major wireless carrier brand. T-Mobile wants you to know this. And he just kept going. He's like, and now I have to spend the rest of my life wondering, do any of my viewers respect me still? I can't believe they let me put this in the ad. And he just kept going and going. And it was this whole meta, like, I've completely sold out. And now I'm going to spend the rest of my life wondering, do people respect me or are they exciting? I'm taking the money. They paid me so much money for this. I couldn't say no. And it was 80% about that and 20% about T-Mobile. And T-Mobile's like promoting this ad. And
that's what I'm gonna do.
It's like weirdly metally effective. It was like hilarious.
I'm gonna now like that. That's gonna be one of the criteria. Like for me, it's all whenever I've had any kind of sponsor or anything, which I haven't taken a lot, because of how picky I am in particular. It's like, all right, I'm not reading like I'm not going to read your script verbatim, especially if it's not something that I want to be able to talk about it naturally. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give my actual real opinion on the thing. And I'm going to add a new bullet point at the end where it's like, and I also want to be able to like shit on you, ironically, but not ironically, but ironically, but not ironically, but ironically, but not ironically.
Yep.
And
dude, it'd be so funny.
Like, I want to make a parody, an internet historian-esque parody. Dude, random side comment. I know we're going a little long, but I didn't actually realize this. I was talking to my father-in-law when we were camping. I thought he'd be interested in the story. Did you watch the video, the internet historian video about the guy stuck in the cave?
No, not the guy stuck in the cave. I don't think so.
Okay, so. But you've seen the internet historian.
Oh, yeah.
That video actually got taken down for plagiarism.
Wait, what?
And there was some drama around I didn't look into it a ton because I was on my phone with bad service, so it was hard for me to scroll through to read. And then there were some other people that were it wasn't plagiarism. It was an historical account, so the fact that he went through a timeline is going to be the same as any other timeline of events.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit! Is that why I haven't seen an historian video in a while?
That's
did he just did he get canceled and I didn't know about it?
No, please.
Yeah,
we must protect him.
We already lost what's his name, fucking Channel 5 News or whatever.
Oh yeah.
To some dating a 15-year-old or whatever it was. Don't quote me on that. I actually don't remember what it was, but it was something having to do with girls.
Damn.
And having to. Speaking of apologies, his apology was actually as far as apologies for shitty things go, I want to say that was one of the best I've seen.
Okay, Oh, really? Best? I hate that I don't know any of the details of this story because I do. But did you see the girl? I don't even know what she did. I don't know who she is, why she's famous, or what she did. But the girl that did the apology video as a song, she did it. She played the ukulele. You see that meme? That meme was so strong that week. Where
she was dude, I literally feel so uncomfortable. It's haunting to me.
Okay. Dude. That was so uncomfortable, right? Of course, every single drama YouTuber, every single one is going to report it. Every podcast that talks about stuff, they're going to report on it. They show clips of the video. Do you know why she did it as a song? She copyrighted it. And she DMCA'd every single video on YouTube that showed a clip of it.
Wait a minute.
That's what I heard. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but it's also not. I mean, so here's the thing. Was it what Is this one of these like retcon? I was so genius, or did
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was their plan all along, or if a lawyer was like, "I can turn your stupid cringe song into a bunch of money." I have no idea.
Yeah. So, but the other thing too is that like a lot more people need to stand up to like DMCA shit.
Oh
like that.
yeah.
That
That stuff is so scuffed.
Because I promise you, unless you just like literally just re-uploaded it to your channel or something, she could DMCA claim, and then what you do is you say, I dispute it, and then now the ball's in her court to take you to court.
Yeah, I don't know how it worked. I mean, it was just really a troll on every single person. You know what I mean? Even if like,
I don't think so, dude. That seems so unlikely. Is that what she's saying, or is that what people are like 900 IQ?
I wish I had more details on the story. I just saw somebody mention that in a video, and I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Dog,
I don't even know her name. You know, I know so little of the details of the story.
Colleen. I don't know what her fucking name is. Something Colleen. It's hard. I'm not gonna comment on someone's mental health.
Oh yeah.
But I have a hard time. I'll just say I have a hard time thinking that this was like a giant.
Yeah.
Like this was all a 900 IQ move.
I agree.
Oh God, I'm like getting flashbacks of how uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah. It was just it was interesting. Anyways, what
a way to fucking
end it. What a way to end it. I feel like the whole last half hour we've been off the rails, but I love it.
This podcast's a basketball, dude.
This podcast is even a basketball sometimes.
The sky is basketball.
Thank you guys so much for hanging. That's the news this week. You guys are the best as always. The link is down below. Patreon.com/thepodcastpod if you want to support us even more and get some additional content. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging with us. This will be live on all the places on Monday. Patreons get early access. And yeah, thanks for hanging with us. And we will definitely see y'all on the next one. Peace.